We'll go through, let's start with Dasher and then Jordan Hill when coach is ready. Hey guys.
Hey coach, I guess just start off with number 34. I mean, when have you seen a game like that from an individual?
We had one here last year, Florida versus Kentucky, where he was incredibly dominant, like unbelievably dominant, and not even this dominant. I don't think I've been a part of this. 37 and 24, 11 offensive rebounds, and drew 12 fouls. And shot, 12 of 20 with 3 steals. He was unbelievable. Credit him and his mentality, his motor, his physical toughness, his physicality that he played with, even defensively. We didn't match it. We didn't match it at all.
Mike, first half, you guys tied season high in points, 42 points. What was working in that first half? What do you feel like changed in that second half?
Well, I thought we got some stops. We got a lot more stops that allowed us to get out in transition and play in the broken floor a little bit. Terry Roberts had a high level first 20, of course. Our poise, our decisions, had a low number of turnovers in the first half. I mean, we gave ourselves a chance. Still didn't get to the offensive glass. But in the second half, I mean, they just come out and made most of their first, few field goal opportunities. And crowd got loud, of course. We made some emotional decisions offensively. Never defended the glass, whether it be on post-ups, Oscar missing his own shot and going to get it. Oscar obviously drew some fouls on his own and one-on-one post isolations, free throw misses, field goal misses. They just dominated the glass. I mean, 44-31. Our best offensive category, as we know, Jordan, is the offensive glass, and we had a couple guys get 1 each. And Oscar, gets 11 and they get 16. So their strength dominated our strength. We've got to be much better than that in the future. Our energy level early second half didn't match our first half's effort, and that's on me. And that's something that we've got to discuss as a staff and figure out why, because we were pretty sharp. I mean, we played a really good 20 and put ourselves in a position to be really competitive at Rupp. Really hard place to play. Second 20, we weren't the same team. Obviously, Oscar and Kentucky had a lot to do with that.
Next, we'll go to Mike Griffith and then Mark Weiser.
Well, Coach, you sort of answered my question there when I was going to ask you for your hindsight 2020. What do you do different? You talk about the energy, but what do you do different against a guy like Oscar? I mean, what can you do with the personnel that you have, or is it just a matter of having to recruit some guys that can match up in the paint?
No, I like our guy. We got a good team. We got a team that was up double digits at Rupp late first half. 19 and a half minutes. I want to say they hit a 3 late, late in that first that cut it to what were we up at halftime?
We're up 8, I believe. 42-34.
There you go, up 8. So we were up 11 late half and did some good things. When you're preparing for Oscar, no matter what you do, you tell yourself as a coach, he's going to find a way to get a double-double. It's going to be hard for him not to get 17 and 9 or 16 and 11. I mean, that's just who he just plays so hard, and you don't want those guys to complement his production with made threes. With Reeves getting going and Wallace getting going, and obviously CJ Frederick is an X factor for those guys, and so we decided to go solo on him, and obviously it wasn't the right decision. We doubled him some more, in the second half, got into some rotations, and he continued to just go get it off the glass. So I don't know. I I don't know. We'll have to watch film to see what we could have done better. We could have limited a few of those post touches in the second half with details being a little bit more sharp with our details. There were a couple guys we could have gapped off of and disallowed those post entries. But once he got it and we were solo, he got what he wanted. And then when we doubled him and he kicked it out, it would lead to somebody else shooting the ball, obviously, and he went and got it off missed free throws, off missed field goals. My goodness, he was unbelievable.
Mike, is it hard to kind of gauge your bigs when you're going up against a guy of his talent and I guess player of the year last year or whatever? How do you think your guys did individually?
We're better than that. We just are. We've played better than that this year, Mark. And I anticipate us playing better moving forward for sure. That said, great players rise to the occasion. And we just didn't match it. He plays so hard. He's got such strong hands. I thought that they were, my gosh, he got 24 rebounds. Wow. And Mark, I'm telling you, I thought being right there court level, that there were 10 of those where we had a hand or two with at least one guy on the basketball, and he came up with them. So there were possessions where we really did fight and try. But I just think over the course of 40, he imposed his will and we gave in.
Go to Palmer Toms and then Jack Leo. And then we'll wrap up with Sam Higgs.
Yeah, Mike, you kind of addressed this already, but in a game where you play well enough to win in the first half, but not quite as strong in the second, what's your message to the team afterwards?
Oh, the same. We've had a couple of these where we got away with it and against a couple mid majors and found a way to win, but we weren't quite as sharp in the second half. And it's always a topic of conversation amongst staffs and teams, throughout a long season of college basketball. Sometimes you're going to be more sharp in one half than you were in another. So I addressed that a few minutes ago, where we got to find a way to be as good. It's not about holding on. It's not about watching the scoreboard. It's about trying to be a little bit better. And that's why we watch film at halftime. We show some clips of some positive and some negative. It's about staying in the moment. The next possession, let's get an A shot. Let's get a stop. Let's clean up some of the things we could have done a little bit better. I know we're up 8, but let's try to be even better in the second half. So it's not about the holding on mentality. If you do that on the road, good things tend to not happen. So whether that became our mentality or not, or whether it was just Oscar dominating the game, I'm not sure. It could have been a combination of both.
Mike, at one point it was a lot of back and forth between Terry and Oscar. Was it something you expected to happen, or maybe even told Terry to be prepared for in the game?
No, Terry, I just want Terry thinking about, again, staying in the moment and reading the game, hitting singles, playing within himself. He made a couple quick, pretty tough ones early. Shot a really good percentage, of course, had a heck of a game. That said, I think it led to, maybe a couple in the second half that maybe we shouldn't have shot. Our shot selection was just okay. And on the road, again, especially playing with a lead, in an environment like this, your shot selection's got to be great. And collectively, it wasn't quite good enough. I thought the crowd was a factor. Credit the Kentucky fans, of course, and it was rocking in there in the second half.
Just a quick follow-up. Could you just talk about what Terry has been, obviously, just scoring in the SEC so far through conference play?
He's a relentless competitor. He's growing in confidence. He's understanding, what it takes to be successful at this level, but he's also got a ways to go. I mean, he's only a few games into playing consecutive high-level games for the first time in his life. And he's a very good player, obviously, and he's going to continue to get better.
Hey, Coach, you've talked about it in a couple of your answers so far, just talking about the crowd. And I just wanted to know what kind of impact that had in the second half.
It's always an impact in here. And really every place in our league, a few in particular where they draw a little bit more and it gets a little bit louder. It's just natural. And this is an arena that's always been very loud and always been a factor. And you've got to find ways to respond to adversity, to remain poised, to remain detailed in your scouting report, despite the decibel level in the building. And I thought we did at times, especially first half. Second half, it got away from us a little bit. And I thought it made us a little bit emotional and erratic with some of our decisions. Also, you know, you're in wrestling matches with Shibwe on the interior. I'm not, you know, there weren't enough possessions where we had 5 guys in the fight. Almost a little bit, the moment got a little big, you know, where just stay the course, and respond to the fact that he just got another offensive rebound. We got to keep scrambling, you know, we got to keep fighting and try to force a tough one and try to go get the next one. And I think that, you know, potentially playing on the road, the crowd, et cetera, has stuff to do with that. But I don't want to take anything away from Oscar either, because I don't know how you can. I mean, he was amazing.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.